Hi, I'm Max.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Joe, and you're listening to The Salad Bar.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about today is the fact that my memory is the worst thing known to man. Like it doesn't work at all. In any
That's sad.
like I can remember a commercial from when I was 6, right?
Yeah.
But I can remember an assignment for school that's due tomorrow. I forget it like immediately.
So it's like short-term memory loss.
Basically, but like it's anything. Like if it's something like that should be important, like, oh, have I eaten anything today? I don't remember.
So it's selected memory loss.
Yeah. And
So,
it only remembers the useless things, like a commercial from 2005.
what would
Well,
that
2005 was better than now.
That is very true.
2005 is very specific. Do you have a commercial that you're thinking of right now?
I think it was a Pampers diaper ad. What?
Are you wearing an adult diaper right now? Please tell me you're not.
No. No. We're not talking about that in any way, shape, or form. Never, ever. I refuse.
Well, maybe not now, but later on down the road, someone's gonna notice.
I don't think so.
I highly doubt that fact.
Well, why else would you be remembering a Pampers Cruisers commercial?
I don't know. That's the problem.
It's not even like Huggies.
Oh no, Huggies were trash.
Oh, well, maybe you should stay with that adult diaper.
Oh, okay. We name calling on diaper brands now?
Apparently.
See.
Because that's all I can do during this quarantine.
Yeah. I legitimately had an argument with my chair the other day.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yep.
You didn't win.
It didn't go very well. The chair won't talk to me anymore. He's still mad.
Oh, well, what'd you do to the chair? Explain.
Okay, so the chair, it was sitting there, he was looking at me, right? He was just staring at me. I'm like, what do you want? He said, dude, you're so mean to me. And I'm like, dude, I literally treat you like the jewel of my room. You are the greatest thing in my room, and you want to say that? I see how I am. And we started yelling at each other for a while, and then it just started just yelling at me back, you know. And
what day of the quarantine is this?
It was 2 days ago. Now it was 2 days ago. He still won't talk to me.
Day 20 or something about that?
Huh?
About day 20?
Roughly.
No, well,
see what happens on day 40.
Dude,
yeah, because it's gonna happen.
By day 40, the ceiling's gonna start talking. My fans.
Well, what are you gonna do about that?
We'll deal with that when it comes.
So wait, I got a question for you then. Are you sitting in the chair that you argued with right now?
No, I refuse to use it until he talks to me. I'm sitting on my bed right now. My fan's been talking to me the whole time though.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be in that house anymore.
What do you mean, dude? I got all my friends here. I got fan. I got bed.
No.
I got alarm clock.
Alarm clock. That's a new one.
Is your relationship
Haven't heard of
with
alarm clock
that well?
Not really. I don't know. He likes me, but like every morning when he starts screaming at me to wake up, I just slap it. So
That sounds like an abusive relationship.
it is. I'm not gonna
So
deny.
basically, everybody has an abusive relationship with all their alarm clocks.
More than likely, if you
I
can.
Oh.
I'm pretty peaceful with mine. I wake up 2 minutes before it goes off almost every day. I get up and shut it off before it starts beeping.
Well, then there's no use in the alarm clock because you wake up before it.
It makes me wake up though. If I wasn't to have it set, I would have no use of getting out of bed.
Max,
Not even for this.
Um,
Not even for podcast.
Podcast.
I could get out of bed and do that.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because today it took you an awful long time to get this set up.
It only took like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maybe 25.
Still, that's quite a bit.
No, actually it took 32.
Are we saying lottery numbers now? 15.
32.
6.
Speaking about what we've been doing in our quarantine time, I have decided to take it upon myself to learn a new recipe. I have made, well, I have not made it. I've definitely not stolen it off the web for their little tiny chocolate chip cookie bites. They're like they can fit
So like
on
Chips Ahoy.
smaller than that. Or like if you get the small ones about that size.
Chocolate bagel.
They can fit on your thumb and they're just bites.
Okay. There's only one chocolate chip cookie that I know that can fit on your thumb, and that is a cereal.
But these were small. Like I have the recipe here. This is the only ingredients it uses. And the only thing that's not that conservative is butter. But then again, it makes 144 cookies for 1 1/3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of cornstarch, a fourth and an eighth teaspoon of baking soda, a fourth a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of butter, which is 1 stick, half a cup of packed brown sugar, fourth a cup of granulated sugar, 1 large egg, 1 1/2 a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2/3 a cup optional chocolate chips.
Dang.
I found
I
that
fail to see where the lettuce comes in that recipe.
there, if you want lettuce, that wouldn't be that great of an idea, but you could try.
This is the salad bar. Everything needs lettuce or some
Yeah.
salad.
You know, you're having pancakes for breakfast, you throw lettuce in it. You're having hamburgers, you throw lettuce in it. You're having
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookies, you throw lettuce in it.
Well, the baking instructions on this are 350 degrees for only about 10 minutes. The recipe says 5 to 6, but those came out tasting like raw cookie dough, so 10 minutes makes it about crunchy like the Chips Ahoy. And I made this the first time. It made 144 mini cookies, and we ate that easily. But then I thought, why not make a huge cookie? It was about a foot in diameter. It took 32 minutes to cook with the same recipe and the same temperature.
Okay, I know you did not just bake a foot wide cookie.
I did.
I refuse to believe this.
That is.
I had a picture of it. I could try and find it. Show it to you next time, but I did make it.
You made a
That is a.
foot wide cookie.
It was a foot wide cookie.
Dude,
That's just not okay.
that would be bigger than my laptop.
Now, we were able to eat the 144 tiny cookies easily, but we had to save some of the giant cookie for later when we tried to eat that. But those were 2 separate days that we made both recipes.
So you said you made 144 cookies.
Yes.
Why don't you just double the recipe? You could have 288 cookies.
Well, I was only hungry for 144.
So you ate all 144 cookies.
No, I shared them. I'm a nice person.
You're literally the person from the math problems. Max
Yeah.
has 120 cookies. He gives away 15. How many does he have left? That is exactly what you were.
I
Yeah.
swear, you could be on an ACT test and I wouldn't realize it.
If Max wanted to bake a foot-sized cookie out of a recipe that makes 144, how long would he have to cook it for?
17 days.
More
Yep.
like not happening, but I'm not waiting half an hour for a cookie.
Half-hour cookie.
But I didn't know how long to cook it for, so I spent forever trying and trying again to keep it cooking. So every about 4 minutes, I would go back and check on the cookie. So it took forever. It took 32 minutes, but I had to keep setting timers and writing down how long I put it in for, and I got 32 minutes out of that.
After you open the oven door, it takes way longer than 4 minutes for the thing to warm back up, and then cook it a little bit extra. You could
I
have
was
gone.
quick with
Yeah.
the oven door. I opened it, I slapped it with a spatula, it was soft, and I closed it.
You opened it. You then proceeded to assault the cookie and then closed its infernal cage.
That's
No wonder
that's
why it took 32 minutes.
I'll be calling PETA
Max
immediately.
assaulted a cookie. How many cookies does he have now?
1.
2.
Darn.
Dang it.
My life is ruined. Thing is destroyed.
It was a
Why'd you
50
do that?
chance. There's no way I could have had 3 cookies. But 2, that's more reasonable.
Still, the giant cookie taking 32 minutes, that's not worth it.
Oh, it was worth it. That was delicious.
Yeah, but you could have made a whole, like, 20, 21 normal size cookies out of it, and it would have taken 15. Would
But
have
who wants
tasted the
normal
same.
sized cookies?
I
Small ones
cook.
are so
I
good.
don't cook cookies at all.
Yeah, you can't have milk.
But there is something called almond milk, soy milk, and some fake butter that I can throw in there and then have normal cookies that aren't chocolate chip.
Well, I can't believe that's not butter.
And it is not that brand. It's something else. It's called Smart Butter.
Does it make you smarter?
I don't know. But where do you put Smart Butter?
I don't know.
On a roll.
Are you talking about what? Are you talking about smart butter?
Where do you put Smart Butter? You put it on a roll.
What?
That is where it goes.
I
See,
physically
Chris
do not.
doesn't just have short-term memory loss. He has just memory problems.
What?
He's got complications in his cranium at this moment in time.
What were you guys talking about?
We were talking about making cookies dairy free, and there's this brand of butter called Smart Butter, and it's basically just vegetable oil butter.
Did you leave during this?
No, that was a joke. I knew what you guys were doing, and I heard you talking about my memory loss again, so I just.
Oh.
We didn't bring up memory loss, though. You brought yourself back into this.
No, I brought it up.
I heard. I know
Well,
you'll talk about it.
that's official. We all have memory loss. We can declare that right here, right now. We all have it.
I don't know.
You're the one that forgot Brent brought it up when talking about cookies.
You must have cut out.
Oh. That's awkward.
The title of
Yeah, that really is.
this podcast will be Memory Loss and Cookies.
Basically, did you know they have Nutter Butter cereal?
They made a cereal out of that?
Yeah,
Kind of gross.
I'd taste it.
I wouldn't.
I would.
I wouldn't eat it in milk.
Hey, you want to buy some cereal milk for $7.50 off of Etsy?
Cereal milk?
For $7?
Now,
Yeah, it's like bath water except healthier.
While we're on the topic of food, I had an idea while you guys were picking ideas before we started today. Chris said we should talk about croutons as a joke, and I took that seriously, of course. I need to talk about how you get the perfect crouton. There are multiple different types of croutons, but some are too much like toast, some are too much like normal bread. But there's some way that you get the happy medium where it's the perfect amount of crispy for your salad.
Dude,
You nuke it.
The croutons that I really hate are the ones that you like bite into and they turn into like sand.
Oh, it's like the Sahara Desert in your mouth.
Yeah, it's just micro Sahara. It's awful.
Those are the
Perfect.
ones that are over toasted.
I've never had ones that are just like bread, like you bite into it and it just like I don't even know how to describe bread.
The school has those.
No,
the schools they're soggy.
Yeah, soggy, like wet bread.
Oh, I guess I've never had the schools ones. But the ones I always have at home are just like powder.
Powder.
They are so burnt. It's hilarious.
Do you put them on your salad like Parmesan cheese?
No, I refuse to use them because they're just so burnt and nasty.
You just tap the croutons on the salad.
Just season.
Joe, do you mind passing the crouton shaker to Chris?
No, I'd rather not toss the crouton shaker over to Chris.
Chris, I just remembered something that you talked about last time, that there was a line at Casey's of 6 feet away.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
there yesterday. They had to hand me a pizza. And I was expecting, from your conversation, I was hoping they would try and throw it at me. That would be funny.
They were just gonna like frisbee the pizza box over to you.
But
Mamma mia, it's flying pizza.
In reality, they sat it on the counter and then backed up, and then I took it.
So after this whole food escapade, we're still gonna drag it on even longer. We're gonna talk about agriculture in the state of this pandemic. Right now, everything seems to be going all right. It's moving slowly but surely, but we still need to be out here because people gotta eat. So farmers still gotta raise the food for everybody.
Thank you, Farmer Joe.
Farmer Joe.
You're welcome.
Farmer Joe. Thank you, buddy.
Been a bit busy lately, though. We've been doing a lot of tillage, so it's been going pretty good.
I'm not all that
Lots of tillage.
with farm terms, but what is tillage?
Tillage is the disturbance of the soil. So basically, we'll bring up the underlying layer of the topsoil. We'll bring it up to the top. So then it's kind of like recycling the nutrients in the soil. It's a really good practice if you do it correctly.
And if you don't do it correctly, what things can that cause?
Another dust bowl. Don't think that'll ever happen, but it could. You could lose topsoil because of the wind blowing around. And just that's all I'm really familiar with, but there's other disadvantages if you do it at the wrong time. Usually you do it either in the fall after harvest or in the spring before planting. So, but we're just chilling out here. So my quarantine hasn't been super boring. It's been interesting. But besides that point, our school and basically all the schools in Nebraska are out till May 31st. The rest of the school year. And that got me thinking. I wonder how I'm gonna feel like next year when we're in high school, and we come around this time next year and we think, oh, we're gonna get out of school again for another month,
No,
and we're actually not.
I
Nope.
think I'm gonna forget about not having school. Hopefully,
Don't forget that this whole quarantine, this whole thing started the week after spring break. Like we haven't gone back since spring break.
Well,
extended.
it's an extended break.
Yeah, it's still spring break in the middle of friggin' April, and we're not going back.
It's snowing.
What?
It snowed yesterday.
Yeah, it did. It snowed in Nebraska yesterday.
It snowed yesterday.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
I thought it snowed Saturday.
Well, it snowed this week. There was snow and ice everywhere, and I almost fell on my stairs twice because there was ice. I felt like a hockey player who didn't have a metal skate in.
Speaking of hockey, fun story. I went skating once with a hockey stick and helmet and everything, and that sucked because I fell on my butt multiple times. This one time I came down, I fell so hard on the ice, I bruised my tailbone.
Uh,
Don't ever do that. It hurts every time you sit down.
I bruised my tailbone, but I did it in a different way that is much, much stupider than that.
Okay, I would care to listen.
In elementary school, in like 5th grade, I would go to the jungle gym or whatever the heck you call it at recess. I would go to a high point and I would jump off.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, I would just jump off of things like an idiot. And there was this really, really tall red slide. It was the tallest slide in the whole place. It was the highest point you could get to, like without getting on the swings. And I went from the very top of it. I jumped off the side of it. And when I landed, it felt like I landed on my feet. My feet fell out from under me. I hit my tailbone on the ground and jumped back up and landed on my feet.
oh.
Huh.
And after that,
So basically, it was like a trampoline.
It felt like it. It felt like I landed on my feet. To me, I thought I just landed on my feet, and for some reason, my tailbone hurt a lot, and I didn't know why. But the next day, I could barely sit down. Like it hurt so much just to sit. Never use your tailbone. Don't do it. It's painful.
Yeah, it sucks.
Don't
I remember that.
Don't jump off of really high things because you're gonna hurt yourself.
I remember your phase of doing that. That was so much fun.
That was a whole little phase I had where I would just find something tall and jump. People liked it. I don't know why, but
I think it was funny because you'd be like, "Yay, I did it!" And then we try to find something else for you to jump off. And be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm invincible."
I was never like that. Every time I did it, I was scared out of my mind. I can remember that.
Was funny.
There was a rock climbing wall out there too, and it wasn't even that tall. It must have been like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Not very tall. But I climbed to the top of that, and before I was gonna jump off of it, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so tall! Oh god, I'm gonna die!" Like I was so
I've
much.
been there recently. It's only about 6 feet tall.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
So it's about as tall as you.
Mm-hmm.
I must be really.
You are
I must be real short.
You are short.
Call me Swagger Souls.
No.
thank you all for listening to this episode of the Salad Bar. Tune in next time, and we will talk about more of Isaac's disabilities. Thank
And
you.